Hey, it's Squidly. Here's another video from my backyard. It was a video that came out just a couple of days ago by another YouTuber, J Ben Hikes, and it was on how to pack up and how to roll up the duplex tent. And so I had a conversation with him on his video, short as it was, but basically what I told him was that I've got the Gossamer Gear, the 2, which is essentially the same design. For his method for packing it up looked interesting. Now I'll put his channel on the screen. You can see who I'm talking about. Go see him. He's got some pretty interesting content. So basically the long and short of our conversation was, why don't I do a companion video to his on the Gossamer Gear, the 2, with the same design, and show it, and I'll kind of demonstrate not just that method, but how it works for the Gossamer Gear, the 2. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this up, and then I'll go through that process with this tent. That took me about, seriously, it took like a minute to get it set up, which points to one of the advantages of doing it this way. Is once you've done this method, rolling it out and getting set up, it makes the process a lot smoother. And he mentioned something to that effect, I think in our conversation. I don't think it was in the video. But I can tell you, having done this just now, he is dead on accurate with that. So what I'm going to do is briefly go through the process of how to use his method with the Gossamer Gear, the 2. So what I'm going to do is pull up a stake, and now lay it down to the center, kind of fold it in, and then same with the other door. Take it down and fold it in. Pull up the rest of the stakes. And what he does is he folds the edges in, and I didn't do a very good job of laying that one down. Take your cords, lay them on in. Hold it in now. What you want to do is fold it over in thirds. Yeah. And as you're doing this, you want your cords to be on the inside. You don't want them laying exposed on the outside of all this folding up. So you get it in those thirds. Now fold it in half, and what I've noticed, of course his is Dyneema, so his is going to probably behave a little bit more differently than my Sil Nylon, which is going to be another issue that I'll deal with here in just a second. But when I do this, it sort of rolls as much or more as it does folds. Now, with his method, now what I'm gonna do is start on one end and I'm gonna roll it all the way. And as I roll it, It's going to make this really compact, really tight, and it's also going to push the air out of it as I go. One of the keys to doing that is I'm going to put my knee on it right here as I roll. Pull it down, keep my knee on it. That way I can hold it tight. These are all issues that he addressed in his video. But by keeping my knee on it, I keep it from kind of unfolding and unraveling as I go along. It also allows me to pull it tight and get the air out of it. Now, once I've done that, I've got it pretty tight, and I found that this makes for a really tight roll, and it will occupy less space in my backpack. And you can see how small that gets. In fact, it's actually a lot smaller than it looks. And that's a 2-person tent on there. Okay, so his method for packing up the duplex works the exact same way with the Gossamer Gear, the 2. It's very effective for getting it to be compact and not take up so much room in your pack. And I think one of the most important things is once it's rolled up this way, when I go to unroll it, and I didn't find that out, like I said, until rolling it out to do this video, when I unrolled it, it was unrolled and ready to go to get set up. I didn't have to untangle any lines or anything at all like that. Part of the conversation I had with him, though, was the difference between Dyneema and Sil Nylon. And what he described was that with this method, the only time that he does this is between campsites. So, you know, going from night 1 to night 2 to night 3 and that kind of thing. When he has it packed up at home, I think he packs it up a little bit differently, is what he described. And my concern was because it's Sil Nylon. Everything that I've heard is you don't want to fold it the same way every time because it weakens the nylon along the folds. And so I've always heard that with nylon, you need to stuff it. Just, you know, grab the center of the floor and start stuffing it. And that way you don't get those same creases every time. So he and I also had that conversation that with the Sil Nylon, probably the way to store it in between trips is the way I just described, by stuffing it and then roll it up like this between days on the trail. So hope you got something from that. Even though it's a different tent, same floor plan, same basic design, and it absolutely works. It's an effective way of folding it up. Oh, freaking kidding me.